All right. I don't know how to really start this video off. Shoot. First, I was debating if I should talk about like the Mike Tyson and fucking Jake Paul fight. This is not. There we go. And the fucking like the fight that happened last night. And I didn't watch it live, of course. Because like it just took too long to reach that point. But I woke up and I watched it and I was like, oh no. But anyway, yeah. So I'd like to say I've been like alone, basically, or like by myself, quote unquote, for like the past 3 years ish. Like actually on my own, basically. Well, I mean on my own as in like not really having friends around or something like that, not really having people to actually talk to, like in person and stuff, right? Online is kind of different, even though like even then I don't really talk a whole lot online. I don't generally like talking, even though like this I'm talking, but yeah, I don't generally like talking, but that's a whole nother thing. I've just kind of been like alone for a while now. And even in school, I was also kind of a lonely guy. Even like even in even middle school, high school. I don't think elementary as much. At least the first elementary I went to, and then the second one, I didn't really have any friends at that point. Some people I became friends with like later on in middle school and high school, right? But I just like from third grade onward, it's just been like me being like alone, basically. And even then, I mostly had like my brother and like my family and stuff. But even then, like recently, I just haven't talked to them as much. And I don't really know why that came to be. Like for example, me and my little brother used to talk a lot. Now we just don't really talk as much. And I think that's mostly because now he has a lot more friends, and now he's like in high school and stuff too. So he has a lot more stuff to do. But even then, like me and my twin brother, we don't talk a lot, like a whole lot either. Like when we do talk, we talk a lot, but we don't really talk a whole lot. Me and my dad, we never really talked much. And me and my mom, we talk when we can, basically. Both of my parents are pretty busy. Like my mom works two jobs. Well, it's kind of like the same job. It's teaching, but she works as a teacher and then like a tutor after. And then my dad, he does like car repair stuff, and then he does DoorDash because like we don't. They both don't make a whole lot of money, right? And I don't have a job yet. I used to have a job, but I left because they wouldn't pay me. Yada yada. I've talked about this like a whole bunch before. But I've just always been kind of alone, basically. Lonely, I don't think so. Like, here's the thing. I think there's a difference between being like actually lonely and actually being alone. And I don't feel lonely per se. I just feel like I'm alone a lot of the time. That's mostly because I do a lot of things by myself. I do these videos by myself. I don't know. I usually play games and stuff by myself. I do like a whole bunch of music stuff by myself, even though it's not really good music, even though it's not really like a whole lot of like stuff to do with it. I do a lot of things by myself. Draw by myself. I read by myself. Watch stuff by myself a whole lot of the time. I skate by myself. I go out just by myself a lot of the time. That's basically how it is, and that's how it has been for like I don't know, like for the past few years. And before it was like kind of in and out. Like before like middle school especially, like me and my brother used to do like music stuff together. And I would have friends who lived around here, so we would like they would bring like ATVs and like dirt bikes, and we would ride them around, or we would play football or basketball or like soccer or something. But that all basically just came to a stop. Uh, like it slowly came to a stop. It started like 10 years ago. Basically, I've talked about this a little bit before, but yeah, it basically started 10 years ago. Just like two of the people who used to be part of like this neighborhood group that I was in basically had to move away. And then the next year, another two, and then so on and so forth until basically everyone was gone or either like in college, busy, and all that stuff. So this is like 10 to like 6 years ago. I think six, right? 2018, 6 years ago, right? Yeah, 2018 was 6 years ago, I'm pretty sure. I think. Am I doing the math right? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, 6 years ago. Basically everything stopped 6 years ago. Where I only had like one friend who really came over, and he didn't really come over a whole lot. But when he did come over, he would just like open the door. Like he was really like we were all really good friends. He knew my parents. My parents liked him. They were fine with him. They didn't like him eating all of our stuff, even though it wasn't really all of it. But you know, he would eat our stuff, right? But other than that, they were fine with him. Like he would just come in, get out, and my mom would be like, "Oh yeah, that's like my other child." Same with another kid who used to come by a lot, right? That was like most of the kids. Who came come by because we all like hung out with each other, and most of the time they would come to my house. I don't know why. I guess we just had the nicest couch or something. But most of the time they would go to my house, or like sometimes like my neighbor's house, because that's where one of them used to live, basically. So yeah, that's basically how it was for a long time. Like for most of my childhood, it was kind of like that. We would all hang around each other. We would climb trees together. We would play games together. Like we would sit on the couch, play Black Ops like 2 or 3, COD Ghosts, fucking Skylanders, the Budokai Tenkaichi games, like a whole bunch of Dragon Ball games, fighting games. We would do a whole lot of that together. We would listen to music together, all that kind of stuff, and that just all kind of faded away. I don't know, like in the course of how old was I? Like, course of 6 years, I'd say, right? 12? No, not 12. I was 8. 8 when it started. That was 10 years ago. Sorry, I'm not good at math. So that was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 5 years. Took 5 years to kind of like everything to really stop to it, like a point where there was only one person come to my house. And then a little after COVID, like 2022, I think he moved away. And that's basically when all of my friends who lived around here basically, or in this neighborhood, basically left, right? And I had some other friends who lived around. Like one of my friends lives like, I don't know, the neighborhood across from here. But I feel like we kind of drifted away because we went to different schools. That, and we live close to each other, but not close enough to where we're like, okay, let's go out, or this is another thing. We don't live around other kids. Well, we don't live around them anymore. All of them moved away. So when we do meet up, it's usually just us or another one of my friends from like neighborhood like 10 minutes away. So we would have to like plan everything. We were like, okay, let's do this and that, or whatever. That, or like like last year and the year before, we would hang out at the library with some of his friends from his high school because his high school is like not that far away. Well, he used to go there. Now he goes to college and university and all that. Yeah, that's basically how it was. But even then, it wasn't often that we would be able to see each other, right? Because he had his school stuff, I had my school stuff. And I also had like just life stuff in general, and I think he did too. Like his brother, um, he was moving out. He left to go to college, right? And a whole bunch of other personal stuff happened. And for me, I was kind of like, I wasn't doing well in school. My school was like, I don't know, like 2 hours away, 2 hours driving away. Mostly because of traffic. Really, it's supposed to be like 40 to an hour away, but the traffic here is just horrendous. No one knows how to drive over here, so it literally took 2 hours. Just 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. Just go forward and back to my school, basically. So it was really hard to catch up with everything that I needed to do because I either spent most of my day was both at school and then in the car. And then when I got home, it would be like 5. So I only had from 5 to 11 basically to actually do everything that I wanted to do, which wasn't even like I couldn't even do a lot because homework, and it's an art school, so I had to do a bunch of art, and that takes time. I had to go take pictures, I had to go out, and then I had to come back in and then do the rest of my homework for my 4 other classes. So 5 hours didn't give me a lot of time to myself most of the time. That, and I'd stay up later if I didn't have to go for 2 hours in the morning. But no, we had to wake up at 4 or 5 to get to school, to even get there. So I only got how many hours is that? 5 hours of sleep? 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day? Except for weekends, holidays, stuff like that. So yeah, I never really got to do much. I never really got the time to actually hang out with my friends. All my friends in high school, they all lived over there. So, and my mom didn't want, or at least I think my mom didn't want me to want to drive there every single day, right? To go hang out with them. So yeah, and just wasn't great. It wasn't the best to actually connect with people. It's one of the reasons why I didn't want to go to that school. It's because it was just too far away. And not that I have a problem with going far away, it's just when I have to go far away and then come back to a place that's far away from that place, like a school, especially a school specifically, I should say. It's very hard for me to connect with the people who I befriend at that school, because other than school, we don't talk. That, and I didn't have a phone for the longest time. I didn't have a phone until last year. And not even last year. Almost last year. I got it in... When did I get this phone? I got this phone maybe January this year. January, February. Sometime around there. January or February this year. My aunt came over, basically. She wanted to stay here. Not stay here, but well, okay. We went to Tampa because my brother had to do chorus thing. Then we went over here, and my aunt said, "Okay, let me just stay here for a week." So she stayed here for a week. My mom felt it bad that I didn't have a phone because both of my brothers had a phone. Not because my mom paid for it, obviously, but their friends would give it to them. And another reason why they had friends and I didn't, just to be clear, my brother was allowed to stay inside school after school ended because it was he was in chorus, so he had to do practice and rehearsals and all that. So he had a lot more time to actually connect with people. That, and he's more of an extrovert, I'm more of an introvert, whole different thing. And my brother, his school is not even that far away. It's like a 15-minute drive. It's not. It's nothing too far, and all of his friends live pretty close. So his friend gave him the phone. My other brother also got a phone from his friend, or actually no, my twin got his phone from his girlfriend at the time. That's what happened. And she lived a little farther, but they were dating. They would see each other like once a week, kind of like. No, it's hard to like 3 times a month, basically, like outside of school. But yeah, that's a whole different thing. That's basically why they had phones and stuff and like friends closer. I didn't have that. I didn't have either opportunity to do those things. Most of the people that I worked with in like the art school, they either went straight home or they went around like the city, right? Because this high school is in the middle of the city. And I know this is turning into like a little bit of a tangent, but like explaining my point of view, I guess. So yeah, and I couldn't do either. I didn't. When I go back home, there's no one that I know from that school that lives around my house. And then when I go to school, I don't have the time to actually walk around, right, and take pictures. I never had that time. And maybe it would have been different if I stayed last year, right? If last year or the year before that, no, it was last year, 2023, 2022, 2023, that school year. If I stayed that year, maybe things would have been different. The only reason why I didn't stay was because I was gonna get expelled, so fucking I would leave. And the reason I was gonna get expelled was because I couldn't make it home in time, and that really complicated things with my art. Because I wasn't able to do it in the amount of time that I was supposed to do it. So it was either pass my art and fail every other class, or do moderately well in every other class and fail my art. And so like it was basically an ultimatum. I didn't have any other choice. It was basically a lose-lose situation for me, and that's not something I wanted to deal with. And it was hard for me to be motivated in a school that I never wanted to go to in the first place. So yeah, that's that whole thing. So, and I think that's a factor of, like, another factor of why I was lonely. I was in a place that I didn't want to be in. Like, at least not every other place. Like, I didn't want to move from my first elementary school, but my mom said, oh, this place is great, but it really wasn't. It was great for me, like, academically, maybe, but the people there were not that great, as compared to my elementary from beforehand, right? I had a lot of friends in that school, and then not a lot of friends in the other school. I had one really good friend. A couple people that I talked to, but we weren't really friends. And then another friend, but he moved. I have no idea where he moved. Both friends moved, but he moved first. And then the other one lives in North or South Carolina now, something like that. But yeah, it wasn't really a place that I wanted to be in. So that was something that made it hard for me to actually connect to people. Because one, I'm pretty sure most of the people who went there wanted to be there, and I was just like kind of there. I didn't really want to be there. I don't think anyone wants to be at school, but they know school is important, so at least they'll pick the school that they want to be in. I didn't get that choice. My mom basically chose for me at that point, and that's kind of my fault because I didn't really choose a school. Really, I took too long to choose a school. Basically, that's mostly because all the schools that there was no school I was really interested in. Nothing that was really good for me. Like Ferguson, that's one of the high schools that's around here. I didn't want to go to. I didn't want to go to Sunset because it was a bunch of fights. Varela, I probably would have went to. I just didn't consider it at the time. And I thought the principal looked weird. Like the principal, at least I think they changed their principal by the time I was applying for high school. But the principal, when I was like 6th grade, I'm pretty sure I saw her one time. She brought I think she was the one who brought the cheerleading squad, right? But she looked like a fucking snake, I swear. Like a whole ass, like literally looked like the viper that's on the fucking school, like their thing. Which makes sense, but like, I mean, and it's kind of creepy. But anyway, it was just not something I considered at the time. But if I asked like one of my friends, I guess I would have went there instead of where I went, now. And then the other schools I could have gone to, like there was another art school that's literally just 15 minutes away from here. It's closer to here. That some of my friends went to, and I went in there, but they didn't have anything that I really qualified for. It was mostly theater, and it was a big theater kind of like place. It's theater and like band and stuff, like orchestra and all that. And I didn't like, I knew how to play the violin, but I wasn't very good at it. At that point, I was playing violin maybe for 4 years. No, it had to be a little more than 4 years, maybe 6 years. I had to play violin. I was playing violin 6 years. At my seventh, I quit because one, because of COVID, two, because what am I gonna do? Like, I'm not great, and we tried getting back into it, and I just lost everything that I had before. Like, I just wasn't good at it, or coming back to it. I just not good at all. But somehow I became like decent with the guitar. I don't know how that correlates with it. But yeah, I got so bad to the point like I couldn't even read like notation anymore. It was that bad. But yeah. So I would have went to like maybe any school that was around here that if I looked into it more I would have liked, right? But that just wasn't what happened. My mom thought it was better for me to go over to that school because, she was working like 5 minutes away from there at the time. It would be easier to just have all of us go over there with my little brother. He would, like his school, he was at middle school, right, at this point. So he could just walk to school. Like every school that I went to up to high school was like walking distance. Even the other school that I was talking about that I could have gone to, that's walking distance. Like it's like a 20-minute walk, right? So I could have made it there, but just it wasn't something that was on my mind at the time. But yeah, so she thought it was easier for us to go, and then my brother could go walk right to school. My other brother could go walk, and then me and my twin could drive with my mom over to the place, right? And the drive wasn't bad, right? We would drive over there, get on a train, like land at basically where we had to be. But still, like it was that only takes it so far. That only means I really like the drive there, but I don't really like the school. It's not like a bad school or anything like that. It wasn't for me. It wasn't the school I was actually interested in, and even being there, I never found anything remotely like super that made me want to be there. Basically, the people were great. Like the teachers were great. Everyone was pretty much fine there. It just didn't really grasp me enough for me to be like, okay, I want to be here. I want to stay here. I want to do all my stuff. I want to do all this stuff. It just like the entire time, it just felt like I had no choice but to be there. And I think that's the biggest thing that was looming on me. And I think that's also what made me think I was kind of different from everyone over there, and why I kind of felt alone in that case as well, because I was the only one that I knew of that was forced to basically go there. And the only person who caught up on that was my art teacher. For some reason, the only person, like no one else, none of my other teachers really got it. Like first day I went over there, she took me over. She was like, she put me over to like her little space in the room. She was like, okay, you don't really want to be here, do you? And you don't really look like it. I was like, no, not really. I don't know how she picked up on it that fast. I still don't. It was like second day. It was like first week at least. But yeah, it was just never a place that I would have wanted to be in. So considering that, and then I was gonna get expelled, I ended up going homeschool for a bit, which led me to be even like more lonely, even more by myself. I basically isolated myself for a year. So I did that. I was by myself basically. The only people I had were people online, and even then I couldn't really talk to them a whole much, or really do anything with them a whole lot, other than maybe play Roblox at the time, or even Minecraft. Sometimes like maybe once a year, and once twice a year. And that's really because I just have a bad computer. Uh, this thing can't run any games. Even if I switch over to like Windows, right? I can't play any games. I can't run any games on here. I need a better computer. But yeah, that's another thing that made me kind of feel alone. Basically everyone that I talked to online, at least, they all had enough to where they could like do stuff with each other, and I never was really able to participate in that, which kind of made me feel bad. The only thing I could do was watch, and I could be like, hey, look, oh, that's funny, oh, look at that, it's kind of cool. That's basically it. I was never really a part of anything. Even now, like, now I have sometimes they go on Minecraft a little more, right? Or like Roblox or something, and I'll be like, okay, let's get on, and that's fine. But even then, like, I can't run the same mods that they can, which makes things hard. CurseForge doesn't even work. And when it does work, it's already too late. It takes so long. It takes like 3 hours to actually download something. Every other time it will be like, oh, this failed, oh, this failed, oh, this failed. So I have to keep going for hours and hours and hours to actually do something. Then by that time, it's like 11 o'clock. And I'm falling asleep. Everyone else is sleeping. So, yeah, it's just not great. I've just never been in the situation where I can actually hang out with people, basically. I haven't been since I was like a kid, since I was like maybe 12 or 13. Like, since then, I've never been in a situation where I can actually hang out with people, which sucks. But that's how life went. Because before I was 13, right? And even when I was 13, everything kind of stopped because of COVID and all that, and there was nothing we could do about that part. Like, everyone was online, basically. And even then, I didn't feel like I was alone. Like, I was a kid, I was on Roblox. We did a whole bunch of shit on Roblox. Like, me and my friends, like, I met my friends on Roblox, like, my online friends, right? So we met on Roblox, and we would do that a lot of the time. But, you know, time changes, we age, fucking Roblox got boring, and yeah, we started playing other games, and I just couldn't play those games with them. And then, like, in middle school, I was in theater and stuff, right? We would go to rehearsals and stuff, and my middle school wasn't even that far away either. It was how long would it be? Like 30-minute walk to get there. It's really not that far from my house. And everyone lived, like, at least close by. Like, almost everyone lived close by to there. So going to other people's houses, or meeting up with them, or having them come over to my house after school or something like that, that was never really a hard thing to do. We always had time to stay after school, play basketball or something, right? And yeah, and we would do like rehearsals for theater and stuff, or go on trips together. And I haven't gone on a field trip since middle school, which is kind of crazy. I didn't even go to prom, which is not really that crazy. Like, middle school prom, right? COVID happened. I couldn't do that. Before that, we had like a elementary prom, right? And that I went to. That I can't really remember much, though, to be honest. I just remember that happening, and then after that, gone, basically. It just kind of happened. But since then, I've never been to prom. Since middle school, I just haven't been on an actual field trip. There was one time when we went on a trip for photography, right? in high school, and that wasn't really that far away. It was like a 30-minute trip. That and like we went to maybe I think we went to Sky Zone, I think, one time for the end of the year, and that's about it. I was never able to go on like the really big field trips. I've never really been able to. I don't think I even have. Like, I think yeah, the only time is like middle school, like fourth grade or fifth grade. I wasn't able to go to like the gardens, right? I wasn't even. I was doing homeschool at the time. I wasn't able to go to Umatilla, which is like a place in the woods, right? It's a whole camp. My brother got to go there, but I couldn't go there because my mom can pay for both of us to go. I was never really able to go just any really big field trip. I was able to get like some shirts for it, but that's the most that I could ever really have. So I never really got that bond. Like I could never really bond with others in that respect either. Every part of my friendships had to do with like I had to. If I wanted to keep a friendship, I couldn't do it by going on like a field trip with someone because I never really had the money to, or I just never was in a situation where I could do that. I didn't have like a phone or anything at the time, so we couldn't keep up on text until like this year, right? And even then, I don't even have the numbers of everyone I've ever met. So, that makes it's very limiting in that respect. I only have like two people that I talk to that I know in real life. And like everything that I had to do, it just had to be somewhere that was close to where I am, or something that's outside of school entirely. Like we would have to hang out on the weekends or something like that. That was the best way for me to actually get friends. Because everything else, it was more like we were friends, but we were only friends at school, and outside of that, we never talked, right? And I think that's another thing that really made me feel kind of alone. And it still kind of does, but I'm not. The difference with the school I'm going to now is like it's an accelerated school. I do what I need to, and then I go out. It takes like 3-4 hours for me to do that. Plus, it's kind of far. It's not as far. It's really like if I were to drive there, it would take 30 minutes. But I have to take the bus, so it takes like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes, depending on traffic. But going there takes like an hour, basically. If the 34 bus, like the express bus, ran all day, then it would literally just take me 40 minutes going and 40 minutes after, like coming back. It wouldn't take that long. Maybe an hour coming back home. But seriously, it wouldn't take long at all. But yeah, and the whole difference is, I'm not in a real classroom. I'm just in a room with other people doing work. We aren't really taught by the teachers just to do stuff unless we ask them, right? We don't really talk, right? We don't do a whole lot of stuff. They aren't on the board saying, "Here, this is how you do this. This is how you do this. Do. Take notes. And it's not really a whole lot of conversating. That, and I'm one of the older people over there. I'm not the oldest one. I think the oldest one is someone I met in middle school, right? He goes over there. We say hi to each other, but we don't really talk. Not like we used to. Like he would go to my birthday parties, but that all kind of stopped. We haven't really talked to each other in 5 years. Till that point. But anyway, he's the oldest there, but everyone else is like in the mostly in the like 14, 15, 16 kind of range. So they grew up kind of differently. Like you can really see. I don't think now, like if you were to meet like someone who's born like 2009 versus like 2007, 2008. I don't think you could see the real difference in that, but you could definitely see it in someone who was born 2006 compared to someone born 2008, if that makes sense. We don't have the same kind of humor. We didn't grow up the same kind of way. Uh, we, like, everyone 2000 to 2006, I think, all pretty much grew up the same kind of way. And then from then on, I don't think it was kind of the same. Maybe 2007, you could say. 2007 is a maybe, and then 2008 onward, like everyone, completely different, right? Completely different from how we grew up. Like the 2006 kids, 2005, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 even. Not even 0. Is that 0? It would just be 2000. It wouldn't be 0. What the fuck am I talking about? But yeah. So it's really hard to connect with people who are younger than me, like, unless, we're interested in the same kind of things. And then at that point, it's kind of easy, but it's not really something that I find common. Because not a lot of people who live here are into the same things as I am. Like me, like most of the people who live here are like into rap, but not into like the rap I like most of the time. Like people like Kendrick and all that. But that's about it. That's about where we align. And then everything else is like, I don't really like Playboi Carti. A lot of people here like Playboi Carti. It's like a whole different thing. Not a lot of people are into like playing guitar, like music in general, like other music in general. There are people who are into that, but not a lot of people. So it's really hard to connect in that aspect. I'm pretty sure a lot of people like anime, but I don't think a lot of people watch anime like I do. Not in the same way. And just in general, I don't think a lot of people just are into what I like. Or at least a lot of people who live around here. I don't know about everywhere else. Anywhere else I don't really know about, but I could say for here, like for certain, I don't think a lot of people are into what I'm into, basically. Very hard to connect in that aspect. Like I don't go around and see people playing like fighting games 24/7. Or like me, hey, you see that 2XKO's coming out? Yeah, you want to play that? You think that would be fun? It's like a 2v2. Yeah, I don't think that would be. It's not something that's common around here. I don't even see a lot of people playing like cards and stuff around here, right? And I guess that makes me kind of nerdy, like collecting cards and playing fighting games, kind of. But yeah, it's just the reality of the situation I'm in. It's just there's not a lot of people I can talk to. There's not a lot of people, and the people that I really can talk to, like that are around me, they aren't into the same kind of things that I'm into. I can't really find a connection in other people that live around here, basically, if that makes sense. Like not anymore. Beforehand, definitely, right? Before we would like the kids who lived around here, the kids I met in middle school, even like some of the kids that I met in high school, right? But now everyone within that kind of group has gone away. Basically, they're all in college, university, either like here and they're too busy, or across the country, like across the state, across the country. Like my brother's all the way in fucking New York, right? He's closer to Canada than he is to me. But yeah, that's just how it is. I don't know. It just kind of feels like I haven't been connected to anyone for a long time now. Like it started 10 years ago, but like it's built up to a point where it's like really, you could see it. You could actually like see it when I'm like talking, or like when I'm out on the street. You could tell that I'm like, I don't talk to people anymore. Before you could tell like he's kind of like shy, but he actually talks to people, like in high school, right? And in middle school, whole different situation. Like people would talk to me, I'll talk to them, it'll be fine. I was quiet, but I wasn't like, I was quiet, but I didn't like not say anything like I do now, or even in high school. So yeah, that's the whole thing. But I don't think being lonely is something I'm sad about. Like it's disappointing for sure. Like I wish I had more people to talk to. But I'm not good. I'm not depressed about it or anything. I'm not going through like an emotion like not. I'm not going through existential crisis thinking about it. It's it's something that's sad. I think it's unfortunate that something that I or even anyone else would have to go through, right? Even, and I think it's more unfortunate for people who have had friends for a long time and then have lost all of them more recently than I have, right? That's even more kind of devastating because the point where I'm at, it happened years ago, right? But at the point where they're at, maybe it happened 1 year ago or even like a month ago. So that holds a lot more weight for them than, I don't know, like for me even. And at that point, like it's really sad, right? Because then they actually understand what they're going through. I didn't even understand what I was going through until like maybe a year or two ago, like when I was by myself. And I was like, huh, how long has how like I kind of found it weird, right? It's something I've always kind of found weird, especially like I really thought about it like even like today and last week. Basically, I was like, huh, I see all these people like being sad about it and depressed about it. And I was like, huh, why aren't I like that? What's wrong with me to be like, I'm okay. What's going on? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, I have to really think about that, and I've been thinking about that for a while now. I'm like, oh, that explains it. Oh, I get it now. I've been like this for 10 years. I've been like this for like most of my life, not even half my life. Fucking most of it, like three quarters. If I was 16, it would be half of it. But I'm 18 now. So what does that make it? Not half. A little more than half. I don't know, like a half of like one half and a half or something like that. I don't know, but I've been like this for a while now. And it's also something that's happened so slowly, so incredibly slowly, that I never really noticed it until I thought about it. Or until the point that I was actually in a place where I had no one to be around. And then at that point, it was like, oh, that's why. Oh, I see why now. And yeah, and I think that part is kind of sad, right? Not knowing that you're alone, or not knowing that you have been alone or been lonely. It's like the not knowing part that really kind of sucks, right? Because when you don't know, you kind of like look for answers, and if you don't look for answers, well, I mean, like maybe you'll, like what I did was I kind of blamed myself for it, like, oh, it's my fault. I was always distant. I was always going away from people. Like something I thought a lot about, like before, it was like, yeah, like the reason why I don't have friends is mostly because I don't know. I've always been kind of distant. That's like my whole thought. That was my whole thought. And like I thought like, oh, maybe if I talk to them more, maybe I'll still be friends with them. But when I'm thinking about it, like when I'm actually thinking about it, I don't think we would have really stayed friends. That's neither. It's not my fault, any of my friends' fault. It's how life happened. Really, it's just life's fault. That's just how life is. It just kind of happened. And it's unfortunate, but it's something. It's something. And the part that I'm kind of scared about, or not really scared, but I think a lot about, like mostly today, this is why I'm making this video, is I don't know if I'll ever be in a place where I can actually be with someone again, right? And not with someone like fucking romantically or something like that, like actually like with friends again. I don't think I'll ever be in a position where I can actually go out, go with people, go places with people. It just doesn't look like that for me. It doesn't look like I'll be in that place. And even if I will be in that place, it won't happen for a long time, it seems like. And the reason why this came up was like, I don't know, like I would think a lot like before, like when I was like younger, uh even like now, kind of, I would always be like, I really wish I could live with all my friends or something like that. I really wish I could be in a place where I could have all my friends together. I was like, and just today, like while I was sitting on the toilet, I was like, but why do I even think that? uh and I thought about it some more. It was like, oh, I just want a place where everyone like I meet, like I just want a stable place where I can be with my friends, like a place where no one has to move away or something like that. A place where I can stay close to them and do stuff with them without having to worry about them leaving or not, because they'll live around. I don't have to worry about having to call them instead of like showing up to their house or something. It's like at the end, I just wanted a place to where I could be like in a community or something like that, right? And that's just never. It's literally never been a place I've ever been in. A place where I've had community. It's not something I've been in since I was 8. It's just it happened so long ago that I don't even remember the feeling of being a part of something anymore. I don't even know what that feeling is anymore. That's kind of sad. But it is what it is at this point. It's I don't know. It's up to the future to decide what happens next. And so yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's it for now. I've been talking for like 50 minutes. But anyway, yeah, I'll post like a Minecraft video or something tomorrow. And see you guys later. Bye.